And now for a check on some of the other global headlines, let's connect to our Eunice Kim at the NewsCenter.
Eunice, 4 months ago, 6 world powers and Iran set today, November 24th, as the deadline for a final deal over Tehran's nuclear program. We're just hours away from that deadline now, and it appears even the Americans have conceded an agreement will not likely be reached in time, and now we're going to have to start thinking about extending this yet again.
That's right, Mark. It is about 4:10 in the morning right now in Vienna, where those talks have been taking place. A deal would potentially change Iran's relationship with the West after 3 decades of tension, but the two sides reportedly remain far apart, leaving questions as to what will happen next. Our Choi You-sun reports.
While the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council and Germany make last-ditch efforts to reach an agreement on Iran's nuclear program by November 24th, expectations are that the deadline will be extended. Officials involved in talks in Vienna on Sunday said a second extension was being considered as the two sides were in no way near a comprehensive agreement on Tehran curbing its nuclear development in return for the US and the EU lifting sanctions. The 6 powers already postponed the deadline once back in July. The so-called P+51 and Iran differ significantly on how much of its nuclear program Iran should give up and when the international community should ease sanctions.
We're still quite a long way apart, and there are some very tough and complex issues to deal with, but we're all focused right now on trying to get that deal done.
While a comprehensive deal is unlikely to be realized by Monday, the BBC, citing Iranian sources, said a political agreement of some sort or a reference to parameters of a future deal may be announced.
I won't anticipate the results, but we're continuing to work. We have a final deadline for tomorrow night to find an agreement, but it has to be positive and enable us to work for peace.
Amid the uncertainties, Reuters, citing Iranian sources, says Tehran has a plan B that involves turning to Beijing and Moscow, both of which hold veto power at the UN, for diplomatic and economic cooperation if no deal is made in Vienna. The feasibility of that plan, however, is being questioned as China faces a slowing economy at home and Russia is facing its own international sanctions for its intervention in Ukraine. Choi You-sun, Arirang News.